This session is about resilience and how mindfulness training can replenish our resilience. Over the last year, we've all been heavily involved in a scenario that none of us might have ever envisaged, and we've had to draw on our resilience resources. So, how do we use mindfulness to replenish those resilience resources? Just picture the last year a bit like a battlefield where we have all been fairly heavily involved and engaged in a battle that we didn't expect we would have to fight. At some stage, we can't just keep on fighting. We need to rest and we need to step out of that battle and possibly climb a nearby hill or vantage point and have a look at what is actually going on. That then enables us to refresh and decide how to proceed. Just picture that analogy as your own mental battleground, where there are competing thoughts and emotions vying for your attention all the time. So this practice will use that scenario to figure out how to replenish those resilience resources. So take a moment to come to a comfortable seated posture, making sure that you feel evenly balanced on both feet, legs, contact with the ground and the chair, nice and even. And then just straighten your spine and lift your ribcage a little, not too tense and not too relaxed. Just that comfortable point where you're aware that your spine is erect. Relax your shoulders, arms and hands. And if you want to close your eyes, that's fine. If you prefer eyes open, that's also fine. Just make sure you've got softness in the eyes, the brow, the cheeks, the jaw, and that the whole body feels even, balanced, relaxed, yet alert. And bring your attention inwards and start to become aware of your breathing. Noticing the flow of the in-breath and the out-breath. There are many characteristics we can observe about breathing. Movement through the nostrils, movement in the chest and the abdomen, rhythm, smoothness, length, depth of breath, all characteristics that we can bring a little more of our attention to. And just be aware on your next in-breath that you're replenishing your supply of oxygen to the lungs And that on the out breath, you're letting go of unhelpful carbon dioxide. Breathing in replenishes, breathing out releases and lets go. In itself, this practice might be enough just to give you a breather and to start to rebuild resilience if you feel that those resources have become depleted. If we continue with the battlefield analogy, you might just mentally step away from your own mind and take a vantage point on a hill nearby and see if you can have a look at what might be going on in your own mental battleground. It may be that there's a bit of a lull with not much happening. Thoughts and emotions are relatively quiet. And if that is the case, you can continue to work with the in-breath and the out-breath. It may be also that from time to time the battle in your mind is a bit more energetic, with competing thoughts and feelings vying for your attention. Those thoughts and emotions can be about things that have already happened to us today, yesterday, last week, or over the last year. And they may also be about the future, later today, tomorrow, next week, or further into the future. Sometimes it's helpful if we do notice that we're caught up in thinking and emotion, just to give them a name. So thinking, we can quietly say to ourselves, thinking, or planning, or worrying, or angry. And from the vantage point of observing our mental battlefield, we can see perhaps a little more clearly what is going on than we can when we're right in the heat of the battle. We can pause, breathe, relax, consider how to proceed, and eventually rejoin the fray at some point. One constant source of replenishment is our breath. Being with the next in-breath and the next out-breath. Noticing whether the characteristics are similar to before, or whether there are subtle changes to the rhythm, the depth, the smoothness of your breath. Breathing in replenishes, breathing out releases and lets go. As we stand and observe our mental battleground, we are detaching ourselves. We can consider what our options are, and eventually we can choose to re-enter our busy lives. So we'll just have another few breaths, as best you can, keeping your attention with the in-breath and the out-breath. Knowing that from this vantage point we are able to restore, nourish our resources of resilience. And gently bringing your practice to a close, noticing how you feel before moving on with your day.